and go.
My name is Lynette Jalivay, and I'm interviewing Mr. Ronnie Dunn today. It's August 21st, 2020 at the Sparta Public Library in Sparta, Illinois. Ronnie, where were you born? And when were you born? Where and when were you born?
December 13, 1980 in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Okay. Who are your parents?
Dolores Dunn and Ronnie Strong.
Okay. What are their occupations?
My dad, he plays in the band. He's professional. He go all around the world
Okay.
playing. And my mom retired. She
Okay.
is living her life right now.
Okay. Good. Who are your siblings?
I have two older sisters.
While you tell me, give me their names.
Lakeisha Carter. I have, well, first off, Shanae Carter is my older sister. Lakeisha Carter is right up under her. Then it's me. And I have two younger sisters, Chanel Strong and Deanna McNair.
Okay. Did any of them serve in the military?
No,
Okay. What were you doing before you joined the service?
I was an athlete, playing basketball, running track, playing football, and working at McDonald's.
Okay, where did you do that at?
Right here in Sparta.
In Sparta, okay. And what year did you join the service?
1999.
1999.
July.
How long did you serve?
I did 6 years.
6 years, okay. Where were you living when you joined the service?
I was living in Centerville, Illinois with my dad.
Okay. In which branch of the military did you serve?
The Army.
The Army. Okay. Did you enlist or were you drafted?
I was enlisted.
Enlisted, okay. Why did you choose that specific branch of the military?
At first I tried to do the Marines, and then the guy that was recruiting me, he didn't have it all together, so it kind of shook me. And then Sergeant Tucker, he came up to me at lunch and was like, "Man, you might want to try the Army." And my two uncles, they served, and they retired from the military, so I just followed in their footsteps and went into the Army.
So they both were in the Army also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened when you departed for training camp and during your early days of training?
It was hard on my dad. Like, that was the first time and the only time I ever saw him cry. And my mom, she was okay about it, but my dad, he really, it got to him. And that was my first time being away from home, and I was scared.
Scared.
Yeah.
Do you recall your instructors?
Oh, yeah.
What were they like?
Oh, man. He was Drill Sergeant Gonzalez. He was a short little cocky, like Speedy Gonzalez. He had so much energy, and it was Sergeant, I forget the other sergeant, I can't remember his name, but that we had a fun time in basic training.
So you enjoyed basic training?
Oh, I definitely did.
That's good. So, since you say you enjoyed it, tell me, kind of expound on what
just
you liked about it.
being an athlete, it was a lot of PT, a lot of physical fitness. And so being an athlete already, that's already what I did. So that was something to expound on. It was always doing it, and then it was building a lot of character, and it was challenging you, like, to go beyond your fears and beyond stuff that you didn't even think that you had the capability of even surpassing. And it was a challenge, but it was building character,
Okay. What was the worst part of boot camp?
Getting smoked when one person mess up and everybody gotta pay for it. That sucked. Yeah, that really was hard, because teamwork was important, and if you didn't work as a unit, we paid for it. So that one weak link made everybody suffer.
Would you like to expound on some of the sufferings?
Oh man, like when you get child hall restrictions and you usually, anybody want to sit and enjoy their food, but when you get in trouble, like you gotta go in and you gotta zoom through your food. You can't even taste it. You just gotta scarf it down and you get out of there. They give you like a ridiculous time, like you got 5 minutes to eat your child.
Oh my God.
That's when you're in trouble, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes you skip chow and just work out, and you get to eat what the chow hall have left over if they keep it open for you, or what you done snuck in the bags. That's it.
Okay, did you receive any specialized training?
Yeah, I actually did. I just remember, now that you say so.
So what kind of training was that?
So me being an athlete, when I got into the military, I never did a push-up in my life. And I was, cocky and, I had muscles, and I couldn't pass the PT test at first. Because I didn't know how to do push-ups. And then I had to go to special training to learn how to do push-ups. And then when I did it, I was the boss at it.
Okay. How did you adapt to military life, including the physical regimen, barracks, food, and social life, all of it?
Physically, I was already prepared for it. Like I said, I had to learn how to do push-ups, but I was an athlete. Like socially, I was already used to diversity with being in Sparta. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot about different ethnicities while I was in the military. In basic training. And what else you said?
The other one was food and barracks.
Food. I mean, you got to taste it. It is what it is. You adapt and overcome. That was one of our sayings. And then the barracks, it was nice. You just had to keep it clean. That's it.
So how many soldiers were actually in your barracks?
Well, you got different units. You got different platoons. You know what I'm saying? It depends. Like in my, like on this, it was two sides. You know what I'm saying? It was like maybe 12 soldiers to a bay. Yeah, 12 on this side, 12 on this side. So
that's in your total
maybe 24
sleeping,
people. Yeah.
total sleeping area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get used to that? I mean,
I was already used to taking showers with a whole bunch of people, because in sports you have to take showers and that. It was just getting woke up late at night by a drill sergeant or early in the morning. You don't know why you getting smoked. You don't know why they waking you up. They just coming there screaming and beating on stuff. That was hard because you never got to get any sleep. You know what I mean? And they would keep you always alert. Try to keep you alert, and you'll be falling asleep in formation, standing up. Yeah, they take all your little time from you.
Where did you serve?
I did basic training in AIT in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And then from there, my first duty station was Fort Riley, Kansas. And then from Fort Riley, Kansas, I went to Vilseck, Germany. And in between Vilseck, Germany and Kansas, I used to go to NTC at Fort Irwin, California in the Mojave Desert. And those are the places that I've been in.
So what is NTC?
It's a national training center where we go, we train for like wartime things. Yeah.
If you served abroad, what are some memories of that experience, and what was your first impression?
A culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
Germany was different. Me never being in another country before and away from my parents' home, so then to get rushed into another country by yourself, as a grown man, well, 17, 18, you think you're grown. But I don't know, it was like thinking about Germany, I was thinking about Hitler and the Holocaust. And so I was like scared, like, man, like me being a black man, you know what I mean? I thought it was gonna be trouble, but no, you just, only thing, the older people just, you know, they were a little, you know, but the younger people were hip. And it was surprising, but they just, the older people, well, the people there, they just wanted you to try to speak their language before they speak English to you, because they have to learn English. You know what I'm saying, as a second language. They know English, but they won't speak it unless you try to attempt to speak their language. Yeah.
Good trade-off. What kind of friendships did you form while serving, and with whom?
Oh man, some of the best friendships I've had with my military brothers that's still going on today, because you have a bond, because you all are going through the same exact thing, trying to achieve the same goal, and brotherhood is like, that's big time in the military. You know, having a battle buddy that got your back.
How did you stay in touch with family and friends back home?
First, it was just through phone calls, and then social media came around, and that was the biggest way to keep in contact with your family.
Okay. What did you do for recreation, or when you were off duty?
I used to play sports and work out, but then I got hurt, and I was just at home with my kids, being a daddy. That's it.
What was your most memorable experience while serving?
Most memorable. I guess when I went to Nuremberg in Germany, that's a historical place, you know what I mean? So when I went there, and when I went to Berlin, saw where the walls had came down, and what was Czech Republic. That was fun, and when we bought a lot of crystals and stuff, like crystal glasses, cups and stuff, that was a big thing then. So that was my most.
Okay. What did you think of the people you served with?
Leadership, but didn't like. Well, let me take that back. In Germany, I didn't like the leadership, but as far as the enlisted soldiers, man, I love my brothers. We all still get along right now to this day.
What did you not like about the leadership in Germany?
In Germany, they didn't have the public eye on them. You know, like over here in the United States, you had a lot of people that were governing what was going on over here in the States. Over there in Germany, you didn't have people, you know, so concerned with what was going on over there. So a lot of people got away with a lot of stuff that they weren't supposed to get away with, and they took advantage of that, and didn't like that.
What was the highest rank you ever achieved?
Corporal.
Corporal. You want to tell me a little bit about that rank?
Yeah, corporal is it's like you. I was a specialist, but I was the leader of my little group or whatever, my platoon or my oh man, my mind went blank. But I was in charge. So the corporal rank is the rank you get right before you get promoted to sergeant. Okay. So it's a rank that's you know, like given to you when you're in a leadership position.
Okay. Where were you when when your period of service was up?
I was in Germany. I ETS'd in Vilseck, Germany.
How did you return home?
Returning home was difficult. I mean, it was difficult. Trying to adapt to being a soldier for so long, and then you have to be a civilian and try to be normal. I guess. It was difficult, you know.
How were you received by your family and community?
When I got back,
Mm.
they were happy. They were happy that I was back home. Glad I was still alive.
Mm.
But yeah, they were happy overall.
How did you readjust to civilian life?
I still haven't. It's still things that I deal with, you know, as far as PTSD, depression, and anxiety. Like, they don't teach you how to turn certain things off. You still have to go seek counseling and help for those kind of things as a veteran now. You know.
What was the biggest surprise about the civilian workplace?
How people took like time for granted. How people took like a lot of things for granted as civilians. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to say they don't appreciate the freedom that they have, but they don't know what it takes to have the freedom that they have, that we sacrifice as being soldiers, that sign our life away on a dotted line for everybody to be free. And then some people just like
Right.
don't understand, you know, and that was hard to deal with.
Have you remained in contact with or reunited with fellow veterans?
Oh yeah, on a regular basis.
Who are they?
I have a buddy, Julius Miley, that I was stationed with in Germany, and shoot, we talk all the time. Patrick Selden, he's over here in Madison County. We served together in Germany. We talk on a regular basis. Freeman. It's a lot of my buddies that I keep in contact with.
That's
So,
good. That's good. Are you a member of the veterans organizations?
yeah, I'm a DAV. I'm part of the DAV. What is it? The Wounded Warriors Project. Those two.
Okay. What have you done since separating from the military?
I've went to school. I graduated from SWIC, Southwest Illinois College. I got a degree in network designs, human services and technology. I had a degree in network designs and administration. I was going for that, but I stopped a year in, so I have a year left to complete that. And then I'm almost finished with my bachelor's degree in workforce development and education at SIUC.
How did your service experiences affect your life?
It taught me how to be a man, like patience, virtue, work ethic. Like just taught me a lot of positive values, like how to when you say you're gonna do something, do it. Let your word be everything.
What key knowledge, skills, abilities, and experiences that you learned from military service would you say are the most valuable?
Work ethic, loyalty, and respect. Those are the top ones.
And why would you say that?
Because in order to get respect, you have to give it, and you respect those in authority. You know what I mean? Like you're not out here just wilding out. You know what I mean? Because you have some kind of respect in you. You know what I mean? You respect is important. Yeah, that's
Okay.
I'm not.
How has your military service impacted your feelings about war and the military in general?
I know, like, if I'm called to duty, I'm a go. You know what I mean? But necessarily agreeing with it, that's a whole thing in itself. You know, but as a soldier, you don't have too much say so. You just go.
Okay.
You know.
What message would you like to leave for future generations who will view this interview?
I think that the military is something that should be implemented into the United States, where every male, female, everyone has to do at least 2 years of service to learn, to learn at the ethics, you know what I'm saying, that come with being in the military. It teaches you a lot, and it makes you mature faster, and it lets you see exactly what life is, you know what I'm saying, is about. You know what I mean? You get to learn a lot of discipline before you get shoved out there as an adult into the world, and you get told, like, you gotta do this. You have no platform, no map. The military will give you some guidance.
Is there anything you feel like we haven't discussed or you would like to add to your interview?
Just that when I was in the military and I was at my prime, I wore the PT patch, and everybody that look at this that's prior service, they know that's the elite of the elite, you know, in physical fitness. So I used to wear that PT patch proudly, you know, and that's about it.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what your duties were.
Well, in Fort Riley, I was a 93 Foxtrot. Since then, they've changed the name of it. I used to be a meteorological crew member. So we were field artillery. So the guns, they couldn't shoot without our readings from, you know, our radio signs, and we'll send them up with a radio sign attached to a balloon that we fill up with helium. We send it up when we get the wind speed, density, pressure, humidity, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff that they need to shoot their guns accurately. Mm. So they really not supposed to shoot without us, but that didn't always, they were very impatient sometimes, you know, and that was fun, you know. I enjoyed being they call me a weatherman. Yeah. And then in Germany, I was a 77 Fox. It was a petroleum supply specialist. And we basically a fueler. We filled up, you know, all the tanks and Humvees and, you know, choppers, airplanes, whatever. You know, we were the fuelers, and we were very important. If we blow us up, I mean, the war is over, you know. So we had heavy artillery, you know, that escorted us when we went to war and stuff like that.
And what was the other third place that you said? What did you do at that time?
NTC, that's the training center in California. We would be in the Mojave Desert, and in the daytime, it's just like you'll think of a desert, but at nighttime, it is so cold.
Oh my.
It is cold, and then you have your sandstorms. Yeah, but there is where you practice your job, like you practice like in wartime, and you know, actually out there roughing it up.
What would it actually be like to be in a sandstorm in the desert?
You'll have sand everywhere, in places you didn't even think the sand even got. It's blinding, and it depends on how fast it's going, like how fast the wind is. Those little sand, that sand hurts. You know what I mean? And yeah, you gotta sit down when the sandstorm comes, because it's blinding.
So what did you do in the midst of when one happened? What did,
When one happened, one time I was asleep, and I was in my sleeping bag, and I just braced onto one of the poles. I braced onto one of the poles, and I stayed covered in my sand on my sleeping bag. And just one time it like took our whole tent, knocked down our whole tent. It just took it. Yeah, and people were flying. Those winds were
oh,
treacherous.
wow.
Yeah.
Was there a chance that you could see combat during your time in the military?
Oh yeah, yeah, it was both duty stations. I was supposed to go to war, but I got hurt. I got injured, so they didn't send me out there while I was hurt. The second time I got hurt, I was short. You know, I was getting ready to get out of the military, so that saved me from going to war.
Mm,
So, yeah.
okay. Well, how did you feel about avoiding combat?
Um, I felt like a little guilty because my buddies still had to go, and I had to stay back. And you just feel like you let your buddies down. You know what I mean? Because you're not there with them, and you ain't out there battling with them. You know what I mean? But after a while, I took it as a blessing. God didn't want me out there.
Yeah. Did you personally know anyone who did see combat?
Who didn't?
Who did see combat?
Oh yeah, all of my buddies, my whole battalion went, and it was just me and another guy that stayed back. So yeah, I know a lot of people.
How long were they in combat?
They were there for about a year. Some of them longer than that. They were doing tours back to back to back.
How old were you when you joined the military?
I joined the military in the Bear program when I was 17, and they couldn't legally take me until I turned 18. As soon as I turned 18.
So what made you decide to join? What was the reason why you wanted to join?
I had a scholarship. I was seeking a scholarship, and I had offered to Mississippi State running track, and then I ripped my hamstring, and they would only offer me a partial scholarship. So at the time, I had some kids on the way, so it was like, wait till my junior year, red shirt me till my junior year, making no money, just going to school, and not getting to play sports until my junior year, or go straight to the military and have some money to provide for my kids that I had coming. So it was a no-brainer. I went to the military.
What was your most frightening experience?
When we got called to war. When that war first broke out with President Bush, Iraqi Freedom, and my unit, you know what I'm saying, Big Red 1, we were the first. They called on us to go on out there, and I was ready, and then I got hurt, and I didn't get to go. But it was a fear, but at the same time, you felt like, okay, now it's time, you know. But it is what it is.
What was your most interesting experience?
Most interesting experience is when I don't know, in Germany, you know, I was single, you know what I'm saying, when I first was in the military, you know, and I was just partying and having fun. It felt like college, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, it was different in college. But it's just having that freedom and not being, you know, with your parents and telling you you're a grown man and you just gotta do whatever you want to do. So that was interesting. It was fun.
What was your most exhausting experience?
When I got in trouble a couple of times in the military where I had extra duty and I had to clean up. I had to buff floors and clean up. I used to have to cut the little cracks in the grass. You know, you got concrete, but the grass is coming out of it.
Right.
I used to have to cut that with scissors.
Ooh.
Yeah, in corners in the latrines. Our sergeant major gave us a brush, and we would have to clean the cracks. Like had to do that for. Well, that one was 15 and 15. Yeah.
So what were some of the things that you did to cause you to have to?
Oh man, I was fighting. I was fighting. Yeah, I was fighting.
Was there any part of your job that you were especially good at?
Yeah, I mean, I was a marksman shooter. I could shoot any rifle good, any gun, any weapon. I shot it good.
Was there any part of your job that you especially enjoyed?
I like going to the field when I was in meteorology. I like going out to the field and staying out there, you know what I mean, in the tents and the cots and digging foxholes. Yeah, I liked all that stuff.
Okay.
Eating was powdered eggs, MREs. Yeah, get a little mud on them, a little dirt on them still. Tasty.
What part of your job did you least enjoy?
Running long distance. I hated running long distance. I was a sprinter. So in the military, like, you have to run like 6 to 8 miles, like, to prepare you for the 2 mile, PT test where you only have to run 2 miles, but in preparation, you running 4, 6, 8 miles. I hated running long distance.
Did you ever meet any prisoners of war?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you one last question here. What was the most impressive place that you saw?
Most impressive place that I saw. It's a toss-up between Fort Irwin, California, because there you can see like the strip off in the distance, and you were like, I wish we can get some time and just go over there. And then Germany, like, just being in a different country, like, trying to speaking their language and getting involved in their culture and eating their food, and I think Germany. That was the most, yeah.
Well, this concludes our interview, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to do this interview, and we really appreciate and thank you for your service that you did in the military.
Thank you, no problem, appreciate it.